Thanks for tuning in to EMP CycleWorks. Today we got a really exciting video. I got a 143 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 that I'm building. This whole project is the reason why I started the YouTube channel. So this is going to be part one of this video series. Today we're going to put the cam chest together, get the cam plate in, get the oil pump in, get the lifters in, get it all bled, make sure the oil squirters are working. It's a 143 cubic inch Milwaukee 8. Hopefully she makes some really good power, and I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, here we go on this Milwaukee 8 143 build. We've got a Darkhorse crank, beautiful piece of engineering here. It's got the Timken bearing upgrade. The spigot has been bored to accept the 4.5 inch pistons. We got Corilla rods, balanced, lightened, and welded. Or not lightened, just balanced and welded. So we're going to go ahead and assemble the cam chest here. I got all my parts laid out, cleaned. Everything that I need to put this together, I believe. So let's get to it. So the first thing is to install the pump body O-ring. Goes in the little groove. Alright, I got my O-ring lubed up. S&S oil pumps, and that most S&S come with this Torco engine assembly lube. Pretty good. I like it a lot. Usually use this Maxima assembly lube. Probably the same stuff. Maxima smells better, it's scented, but that doesn't really matter. Alright, now I got all my parts cleaned, so I'm just gonna put some lube there. I'm gonna lube inside here too, so everything's nice and slick when it goes together. So the new Harley pumps, in 2019, I think, they started using this O-ring, or the seal on the back of this pump body. And since they've had that, I haven't seen any sumping issues. And I just like to use it. So this O-ring doesn't come with this S&S kit, but Cometic sells it, and you can, Harley also sells it, so. Alright, that's in. Pop, nice and in. Okay, next step is the inner pump. So this one has a little step there. I don't know if you can see that. And that goes in to count for the crankshaft. So I'll lube this up nice and good. Stick that in. Same thing with the outer rotor. Nice and up. That goes in. Alright, I'm going to double check to make sure that I'm right there. Yeah, so there's a big picture here towards engine. Alright, now I got these dowels to install. Then the separator plate, which I'm going to lube on both sides here. Goes over there. This one I'm going to install into the body of the oil pump. And then this will go on. Now you got to line up the flats here on the crank and these pins. Let's make everything nice and together. Boom. That was easy. And then the final gear, trochard gear. These oil pumps work by, as this thing spins, these cavities will move, and it will, once it opens, it'll have a negative pressure and it'll suck in fluid, and then as it'll compress it and spit it out, giving you oil pressure. Now, next up is the cam. I got a new Timken bearing in here, courtesy of Darkhorse. Or maybe it's not Timken, but it's a full complement roller bearing. Move that up really good. CycleRama CR545 cam. Never used this cam before, but it is recommended to go with this 143 kit. So we will see. See how good it does. Install it. Kind of check for clearance, which should have plenty. So the cam doesn't ride all the way in. The cam plate kind of dictates the end play of it. Clearanced pretty good. Alright. Now, next thing is the body O-ring here. Then the SNS cam plate. So, same thing as before, any surfaces. Lubricate, as well as where this pump rides. Make sure it's nice and lubricated. Install this. Some little dowels. And now you can pull the cam to the thrust surface and spin it, and I got no clearance issues at all. The next step is apply Loctite to the screws. Just a small amount. Like so. Okay, I got the bolts just not even hand tight, just loose, real loose with my just Allen wrench here. And I'm gonna spin the motor over here. I don't have the primary installed yet, so basically what this does is centers the oil pump. So now I will give these a little snug in order. They're marked A, B, C, D. Make sure it doesn't have any binding. Feels pretty good. And now the cam support plate bolts, same thing, in order. Same thing. Oh yeah, that feels great. Now I'm spinning the crank with the rods here. What I don't want to do is have these rods smacking against the case. It's kind of hard to avoid sometimes, but try your best to avoid that. Okay, now I'm going to torque the cam support plates in order to 120 foot-pounds. Check for binding. Now the oil pump bolts, same thing, 120 foot-pounds in order. Alright, now I will double check. Spin these one last time. Motor feels really, really good. And now I'm just going to go around and just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Worst thing I can do is miss a screw here. It could potentially cause big problems later down the road. And I'm double checking these, I'm not going in no order, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it in circular pattern, just clockwise or whatever, so. Alright, now double check. Boom, that is a beautiful bottom end. Now I want this flat to be kind of up for cam timing purposes. And one thing I always do is stick rags in these spigot holes. I don't want any kind of debris falling in there. You never know. And something up here could fall in there. Alright. There's the cam plate installation. Everything feels great. On this crank had less than 1/1000 of run out of the pinion. Darkhorse does a stupendous job on just the quality of everything. Alright, the next step is to check the alignment here. Of the sprockets. And for these purposes, I'm just going to lube the bolt so it comes out easier. According to S&S, we don't want any more than 9 thousandths play here. So I got my 9 thousandths feeler, and I'll put it flush against the crank. Looks like I have a lot more than 9. Okay, looks like I have about 17 thousandths play there. So that means I need a bigger washer here, or a bigger spacer. So this is 110, so I need about 120 thousandths cam spacer. Alright, so I'm waiting on cam shim. Should have had it, but didn't even think about it, and I don't have the right one. So I got my lifters. Soaked in oil. Try to limit the amount of oil on this gasket surface here. And now we have our S&S tappet cuffs. And these ones are marked front and rear. These are important because they stop the lifter from rotating. The wheel only goes one way on the lifter, which I probably should have showed you, but if it starts to turn, then the lifter won't spin on the cam. It will skate, which will end up causing a lot of friction and ruin the cam and the lifter at a minimum. And torque them. Now as the cam spins, lifters move up and down. Now I'm looking for any kind of binding here, which I don't want, but I don't feel any. It spins freely. That's pretty cool. Alright, I want to make sure there's no oil on this surface, so I use my brake cleaner and a rag. So it's completely dry. About these tappet blocks, they only really go on one way. So as long as you line the gasket up, for instance, it's not going to fit that way or this way. It should go in easy. Go ahead and torque them. Alright. That's that. Spin these a couple times just to make sure nothing is binding still. Time to clean up and off to Harley to get this shim. Alright, I got it within 9 thousandths, so we're good to go. Time it and put the cam chain on. Oh, I don't like that. Basically, line up the dots. Got the Loctite on there. Alright, yeah, timing is right on. So I put that cam chain tensioner on.
Can you show them what you have?
Still on the cam chain tensioner. You're gonna move it so much. Torque these bolts. I'll put the cover on, and then I'm going to put oil on this thing, put an oil filter on it, and I'm going to prime it. Try to prime the bottom end here. Got oil in the tank. And I got the lifters filling up with oil. My top end oiler too is squirting with oil, so we are primed. S&S oil pump. Building pressure, just pushing it like this. I had to check the oil, the piston squirters.
And it is 410.
They're coming out about 20 pounds, so very nice. So if you liked the video, make sure you comment down below and hit the like button. Give me a comment on what you liked and what you didn't like. Obviously, I'm getting better at this, or I'm trying to get better at this, so any feedback would be really, really appreciated. So I will see you next time, and thanks for tuning in to EMP CycleWorks.